We've done a lot of deep dives. We've done a lot of dives that are far offshore. This is the combination of both of them. It is basically a pretty crazy dive to be trying to accomplish.
Wreck hunters Mike Barnett and Jimmy Godomsky are preparing for one of the most difficult and remote dives they've ever attempted.
This is a no-joke dive. If something goes wrong, we're nowhere near shore.
Today's target, a wreck on the outskirts of a busy shipping route that feeds into the Bermuda Triangle. It's nicknamed the Phosphate Carrier, suggesting it holds some kind of chemical cargo.
We got intel from fishermen that we have massive structure on the bottom. Lots of fish, lots of life, and it's not a small boat. This is something significant.
At over 400 feet, it's dangerously deep. But even worse is its location at the edge of the Florida Straits, 150 miles from civilization. It's an area known for nasty storms that appear out of nowhere. But to Mike and Jimmy, the extra risk is worth the potential reward, because they have a strong hunch that this wreck may actually be one of the most enduring, unsolved Bermuda Triangle area mysteries ever. The disappearance of the Marine Sulphur Queen. February 2nd, 1963. The Marine Sulphur Queen, nicknamed the MSQ, sets out with more than 15,000 tons of molten sulfur, a critical raw material for everything from farming to pharmaceuticals.
It essentially had a football field of molten sulfur put into it that was potentially volatile.
24 hours into her trip, she hits a winter storm with 16-foot swells. But that's nothing new for the MSQ. She's successfully sailed this route dozens of times before. As she approaches the waters around the Bermuda Triangle, she transmits one final call, reporting nothing is amiss, and is never seen again. The only traces ever found are small pieces of wreckage.
Pieces of equipment such as life jackets and other things that had the ship's name actually washed up near the Florida Keys.
The Coast Guard launched a massive air and sea rescue operation. But unfortunately, it turned up nothing.
Authorities determined the Marine Sulphur Queen and all 39 souls on board were lost. But the wreck is never located.
The question is, how does a 500-foot vessel just go missing, vanishes with no distress call? For us, the disappearance of the Marine Sulphur Queen is a Bermuda Triangle mystery that our team truly wants to solve.
After 7 hours of high-speed travel, the team reaches their target just as dawn breaks.
I don't know much about much, but I think that's probably our girl. I don't know what else would be that big, that tall.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The sonar is showing something the size of a skyscraper lying horizontally on the sand. This wreck is almost twice as tall as the Statue of Liberty.
Dive, dive, dive!
Okay, Mike's in the water.
Yet the extreme depth means they have only 15 minutes to map it out before they have to begin making their long, slow ascent back to the surface. As the divers reach 400 feet, the darkness enfolds them. They strain to see their target. And then the team has come face to face with a leviathan. The hull appears mainly intact. Then, a gaping hole. It looks to be fire or explosion damage. Unlike the damaged deck, the cargo holds appear intact. And there is what looks like a golden hue on much of the metal and seafloor. Could it be remnants of sulfur? The divers are tempted to head further into the ship. But Mike has noticed something about the wreck that might make that unwise.
It's collapsed. Gravity still works underwater, and the vessel is starting to compress more, and we're seeing the bow drop down almost to the sand bed.
The divers pull back. It's too risky to swim deeper into this wreck.
Is there any distinguishing features that would tell us that this is the Marine Sulphur Queen? Because it was gutted completely.
It would be open.
Yeah, they put in a chamber that was almost like the size of a football field.
Yeah.
This is actually us going into the holds of the ship.
Wow.
But there's no sign of the massive tank or anything else.
What we could see in this hold, it's missing sulfur.
Although much of the evidence fits the MSQ, her massive size, the fact that she is a tanker, and the location near her last known coordinates, it's not adding up. Could there be another massive ship here that no one has yet identified? David will need to hit the archives for additional candidates that the wreck could possibly be. And there, in the logs, are a cluster of 3 large ships, sunk not in the 1960s, but in the 1940s. May 1942, the U-boat menace creeps into the Gulf of Mexico. Nazi U-boats begin taking out unescorted and unarmed American vessels in rapid succession, especially tankers. A German sub named U-507 sneaks into the Gulf and sets its sights on its first victim, the Norlindo, a medium-sized freighter.
The U-507 put a torpedo right into the side of the Norlindo, right into the starboard side.
With the Norlindo down, U-507 turns toward 2 massive tankers on the horizon, both almost identical to the MSQ. The Munger T. Ball and the Joseph M. Cudahy. U-507 fires its torpedoes. 57 American sailors are killed in the attack.
One of these 2 is our wreck. Both were operating in this area, and both were victims of U-507.
In the cool and dark of the early morning hours, the dive team sets out on the water, hurtling toward the straits for a final time.
Dive, dive, dive! Yeah, it's wild.
With only 15 minutes allotted and the dive clock counting down, they zero in on the bow, one place where the ship's name is typically painted. Everywhere, corrosion and encrustation are claiming the ship. Soon, it won't be recognizable.
Diving these wrecks as soon as possible, it's imperative because it's a race against time. All too soon, there will be nothing more than just a rust spot on the seafloor.
Floating one more time over the bow area, something catches Barnett's attention. Lettering is faintly visible, possibly a name. They document it with their cameras. And then, the clock has run out. They rejoin the rest of the team to review the evidence.
So there's our signature, right? We're looking for one that has extensive fire damage.
Yeah.
This does seem like it has the hallmarks of a tanker that was attacked, probably burned. The whole main deck is just eaten through. She's lying on her starboard side. She's probably obscuring any torpedo damage from the original attack. I think we're highly certain that this is the wreck of the Joseph M. Cudahy.
80 years ago, 27 American sailors lost their lives when their ship, this ship, was attacked. Now, their final resting place can at long last be marked.